Hello again. Guess what we're going to be doing today? Luisa?
Road skills.
Road skills. Where?
On the road.
On the road. So today we are going to the real roads just to learn how to do some maneuvers. The thing to keep in mind, the most important thing is observation. Observation will save your life. And one of the maneuvers that we do is called the lifesaver check. It sounds too tremendous, tragic or something, but it's actually lifesaver. It all got to do with observation. What happens in the road, what happens around you. Look at the cars coming. If you drive, it's doing exactly the same thing as when you are driving, which is look at the other person's eyes. Let's go.
Like any machine, a bicycle will work better and last longer if you care for it properly. Get into the habit of checking your bike regularly. Simple checks and maintenance can help you enjoy hassle-free riding and avoid repairs. The M-Check is a simple way to make sure your bike is safe to ride. First, tyres. Check your tyres to make sure they have enough air in them. If the tyre is soft, then attach your pump to the valve and pump it up. The two most common types of valve are Presta and Schrader. Presta is usually long and thin, and Schrader is usually thicker and slightly shorter. The recommended tyre pressure, or PSI, is usually written somewhere on the tyre. Then make sure your tyres are in good condition. Spin the wheel slowly and check for wear. This tyre's tread is very worn off, and the tyre should be replaced. Next, brakes. Check the front brake by applying the brake and pushing the bike forwards. The back of the bike should lift up. Check the back brake by applying the brake and pulling the bike forwards. The bike should skid. Check that your front wheel and stem do not move independently and that your handlebar clamp bolts are tight. Perform this check by standing in front of the bike, holding the front wheel between your knees and twisting the handlebars. Pedals. Make sure your pedals spin smoothly and that your cranks are on tight and don't creak. Saddle. Check your seat post isn't loose and that you haven't exceeded the limit marked on the seat post. Rear wheel. The rear wheel should be tightly fitted and the quick release lever should be secure in the closed position. Chain. Your chain should be kept clean and oiled. Keeping your chain clean and oiled is important for the smooth running of your bike. Don't use too much oil as this will pick up more dirt and make the chain more difficult to clean. Tools. Check you've got your essential tools before setting out. A spare inner tube, a puncture repair kit, a hand pump, and a multi-tool. And of course, some water. Here are some common manoeuvres you might encounter at controlled junctions. Here, Gerardo is cycling on a cycle path but approaching a left turn only left-hand lane. He moves out of the cycle lane, then onto the right-hand lane to allow him to go straight through the junction. When riding on a road with multiple lanes, you almost always want to be in the leftmost lane that goes through the junction that you want to go. So, if you're going straight on and you approach a junction with a left turn only left-hand lane and a straight on or right-hand lane, you want to be in the right-hand lane. When cycling through a junction, you will often want to ride in the middle of the lane. That way, you won't be trapped between streams of traffic. You'll be able to control your trajectory through the junction and you'll be more visible to drivers. You'll dissuade them from overtaking when there isn't room for them to do so safely. Although there are advanced stop lines at this junction, a box with a painted bike outline, you don't need to use them if you don't feel confident to filter through the traffic. It can be just as practical to stay where you are and take your lane instead. This is what Gerardo is doing here. He's positioned himself to the right of the left turn lane to go through the junction, then moving back to the left to rejoin the cycle lane after exiting the junction. Gerardo is going to now make a right turn at this controlled junction. Sometimes it can be difficult for cyclists to turn right, especially in heavy traffic. So if you don't feel safe doing the manoeuvre, it may be better to get off your bike and cross the road with it. If you do the manoeuvre, First, check all around, looking back over your right shoulder to make sure it's safe. When it's safe, give a clear signal with your right arm stretched out. Move gradually into the centre of the lane. When it is safe to go, move straight across the right-hand lane of the major road and remember to not cut the corner. Here, Gerardo is turning right at a controlled junction, but there is no oncoming traffic, so he doesn't have to wait until the junction is clear. He signals his intention to turn right and stays in the centre of the right-hand lane as he moves across the junction, before moving to the left and back onto the cycle lane. Gerardo is now going to make a left turn at the controlled junction. He checks all around, looking back over his right shoulder to see if it's safe. He gives a clear signal with his left arm. He takes a final look back over the left shoulder and then moves off safely. Now Gerardo is going to take a sharp left onto a minor road. Therefore, he stays in the cycle lane, looks, signals and turns left, making sure not to cut the corner. So now we're going for a quick cycle on the roads. I'm going to talk through some of the manoeuvres and different obstacles that you typically might come across on a ride. So I'm turning left from a minor road onto a major road. It's really quiet, so I did a quick look around just to check it was safe before moving onto the cycle lane. Now I need to move onto the right lane to go through this junction, so I signal right and make sure it's safe before moving into the lane. Here I'm signalling again to move across into the next lane to go straight through this junction. And now that I'm through the junction, I'm signalling left so that I can rejoin the cycle path just like that. I'm now signalling left again so that I can turn left into this minor road here. Now I am signalling right to go from a minor road over onto this major road. Now again, it's quite quiet, but I do look around just to check that it's safe before moving into the cycle lane. Now I'm approaching a junction, which again requires me to move into the right hand lane. So these cars were courteous enough to let me move into the lane, so I gave them a quick wave there. I'm filtering through the traffic to reach the advanced stop lines, and I'm just waiting at the traffic lights here before making a right turn, signalling to the car behind me to make sure that they're aware that I am turning right, and just waiting patiently there, always aware of the traffic that's around me. Now I'm ready to go, so I kick off, always looking around me, making sure that there's no traffic coming the opposite direction before moving into this road here and rejoining the cycle path at the left of the road. Now as I'm cycling, I'm always making sure that I leave a car doors distance between myself and the cars, always being aware that anyone could open a car door. So now I need to turn right again. I thank a driver after signalling and I move into this minor road here. So I'm avoiding some uneven road surfaces here, and even though it's a quiet road, I'm still making sure to look around and signal before turning. Now I'm going to make a stop, so I wave my hand up and down like so, before coming to a complete stop at the left side of the road. So now I'm moving from a minor road turning left onto a major road. So I signal in good time, look around and stop because I don't have priority, the major road does. So looking left and right, waiting until it's safe to go. Safe to go, so I push off and join the cycle lane on this major road and cycle along here. Now while you're cycling, you always want to be on the lookout for any road debris, potholes and cycle lanes, and you want to always try to avoid them. So now I'm signalling right. I thank a driver behind me. Now I'm waiting in the middle of this traffic island here, looking for a break in the traffic so that I can turn right. So that's me got the opportunity now, road's clear, and I move on onto this minor road here. Now I'm cycling along and there's some road bumps, so if it's quiet you can go through the middle of the road bumps. If it's not quiet, let's pretend this road is busy, you're going to have to go over them. Best way to do that is to stand up on your bike and bend your knees to brace for the impact. So now this is quite a complex roundabout, and I am signalling that I'm going to turn right through this roundabout. So just moving around the roundabout here, keeping an eye out for other cars approaching. Now I'm signalling to turn left to move into this left-hand lane here, thanking the driver behind me because they allowed me to move lane here. So now there's traffic lights ahead, so I'm just waiting in the queue here. And then we're ready to set off again. So I'm going straight ahead through these traffic lights, keeping to the left as much as possible, allowing faster cars to overtake me. Now the road's getting much narrower. Now I need to move into the right-hand lane as it becomes the single lane on this road, and I take the primary position. It's much too narrow for cars to try and overtake me at this point, so I maintain this position as I travel along this road. So you can see there's lots of cars parked on my left here, and it would be unsafe for me to try and cycle alongside them. Now we've got a clearer stretch of road here, so I move over to the left beside these parked cars. I make sure to keep a car's door length away from the cars on my left. Once we're past the parked cars here, move further into the left into this lane here to put some more distance between myself and the moving vehicles. And also because I am about to turn left again, as you can see here. Okay, so now Gerardo is approaching a major road from a minor road. Now this is quite a busy road and we need to turn right here. So he waits at the give way lines, signals before looking left and right, looking out for a gap in the traffic here. There's a gap in the traffic, so he moves across the junction. He signals his intention to turn right, returns his hand to the handlebars, and then puts his left hand out with his palm facing towards the drivers to ask them to slow down to allow him space to move into the lane to turn right. As the car allowed him to move into the lane, he gives them a quick thumbs up to say thanks. There's a red car coming out of a side road here. It's always important to keep an eye out for any cars, vehicles, pedestrians that may try and cut in front of you. Now we have right of way here, so we pass the car. Now I always try to make eye contact with the driver as I pass, just to be sure that they see me. So we're cycling quite slowly now, just making sure to avoid any manhole covers, any potholes, debris. Traffic slowing down again as we get to the lights here, but we're staying in this lane because you can see on the left hand side that there is a left turn only lane, and this lane that we're in right here will allow us to go through what is upcoming, which is a roundabout. And as we approach the roundabout, you'll see that we have two lanes, one on the left which has an arrow pointing straight forward, that's the one that we want to take. The one on the right has an arrow pointing to the right. As we pass the exit just before ours, we make sure to signal, so signalling left here for returning the hands to the handlebars and exiting the roundabout. Now there was a quick look back right, just to keep an eye on the traffic. And we're cycling along here, watching out again for any drains, manhole covers, potholes, that sort of thing, and being aware of the traffic at all times. So now we're cycling along again, another fairly busy road. Traffic is slow moving, so we want to just be aware of our speed. That little gesture that Gerardo did there was to alert cyclists behind him that there was an obstacle in the road. So just if you are cycling in a group, that's one to remember. Now you can see that we're a good distance away from the curb, and this is allowing faster vehicles, cars, to overtake us, as there's enough space. And we're just going to go straight through this junction. But also just being aware that cars in front of us may be turning left, so they may be slowing down to turning left, so not going too fast. Now it's important to scan the road ahead as far as you can, looking out for, again, potholes, any road debris, puddles, that sort of thing. Now we are approaching this large busy roundabout, and we're just slowing down to the give way lines at this roundabout, looking right to make sure that there's no traffic coming from our right. So we move into the roundabout on the left hand lane, making sure that there's a good distance between ourselves and the give way lines. And this makes sure again that traffic feeding into the roundabout is aware that we're on the roundabout, that we can see them and they can see us. So as we pass the exit just before ours, again we signal, we're signalling left to let these drivers know of our intention to exit the roundabout at the next exit. Keep on signalling here, quick look back, and we're exiting that roundabout. We're cycling along this road, and ahead Gerardo can see a parked van. So he looks behind him over his right shoulder, then signals and overtakes the vehicle. As we approach these traffic lights here, they turn from green to amber. It's important that you don't race through the traffic lights. So as a general rule of thumb, when the lights are on amber, you need to stop at the stop line. Go on only if you've already crossed the stop line or if you're so close to it that you risk an accident by stopping. Now we're approaching another roundabout, and there are three lanes here. One on the left, which is a left only turn, one in the middle, which is a straight on only, and one on the right, which is straight on or right turn. Now we're going straight through this roundabout, so we're taking this centre lane here, looking to the right to check if it's safe to join the lane on the roundabout. It's not safe at the moment, there's some cars oncoming, so we wait until there's an opportunity to cycle onto the roundabout, and we cycle on the left hand lane, taking a dominant position of this lane, making sure that no one tries to overtake or undertake us, and we cycle round the roundabout and through. I hope you found this video to be useful. Make sure you like, comment and share it if you did. Thank you and goodbye.